what's up, guys? This is the best Hog Rider deck to play if you want to destroy overleveled cards. I made this new account 10 months ago, and I got all the way to 9,000 trophies, playing a little bit every other day, and spending no money besides one pass route for Evolved Wizard. I could have done it completely free to play if I was a little bit more patient on the Evolved Wizard too. By focusing on the most important cards in the deck, you don't have to level up near as much. Wizard can attack air and ground, and it has phenomenal splash damage cleaning up minion hordes and bait cards, evaporating any distractions for your Hog Riders and your Giant Skeleton, while simultaneously pairing perfectly with Tornado so you can clump up your opponent's stuff and damage it down. If you level up Giant Skeleton, it's one of the best answers to Mega Knight that's practically everywhere. Let's destroy some level 15 opponents and assert dominance. All right, so we're matching into a level 15 player with Cannoneer. So it's weird because he's got level 14 Cannoneer towers, but level 15 King Tower. I think most of his cards are going to be level 15, as we see there in the back, the prints. Usually, skeletons at the bridge into a Cannoneer is fun because it will get you one shot with the skeleton. So we'll take that. And the wizard doesn't die because I focused on leveling that up as much as possible. If you guys can see, the cards that I've focused on leveling up are the evolutions and Giant Skeleton. Giant Skeleton because it's really easy to request epics and continuously get one epic leveled up as fast as possible. Giant Skeleton, fun fact, was my first level 15 card. And it works out really well because it's simultaneously a defensive card and a win condition. If you can get it through near the tower and it explodes, it can just straight up win you the game. So I super like that. I'm going to go bats here to tank for the Hog Rider, and we'll see what we can do. Remember this guy? Ooh, am I cooked? Might be cooked, guys. I think it's ideal for me to also level up the wizard, as I said before, so that it doesn't die to a big spell plus a small spell. Also, having the wizard shield as an evolution means that even if your opponent's over leveled, a lot of the times they can't actually kill the wizard. So if their fireball's over leveled and their fireball doesn't hit twice, you can't break the shield and then also break down the wizard. So that's one of the reasons that wizard is really strong in this deck as an evolution, and also the knockback as well. So it's not going to work here against the prince, but if I log, I might be able to hit a skeleton army too. I bet you he goes in for a skeleton army soon. He's going to fireball, but he can't kill the giant skeleton in time. And already it seems like we've locked up this match. So if we just fast forward, you guys will see I'm going to defend and we'll win. Usually using giant skeletons, tornadoes, and wizards on defense with Ice Spirit allows you to defend practically anything in the game. If you lock up a tower early with a good giant skeleton connection, you got the game as a dub. Oh, and one of the most petty things you could possibly do is use tornado with giant skeleton. So after they kill a giant skeleton and they're trying to run away, they're like, nah fam, you can't leave. You stay in a perpetual place of pain. Very easy win here, and we'll be jumping on to the next one. We'll say a good game. And as you can see, even if your cards aren't all level 15 and you got level 14 towers and you're matching level 15 players, you can still have very dominant Ws with this deck. Literally just focus on leveling up your wizard evolution and your giant skeleton. Those are the meat and potatoes of your deck, and the rest of the cards, like Tornado, is just going to be pulling units back. Doesn't really matter what level it's at. Skeleton's Ice Spirit, Distraction, and Stun still doesn't really matter what level it is. So if you use those two cards and spam those as much as possible, you're not going to have to level up as much as your opponent, and you're going to get a lot more value. All right, dude's got P.E.K.K.A. and the banner, and this is going to be an interesting match because now his towers are fully leveled up to level 15. And also, we are leveling our cards at level 13 and 14, respectively, on both sides. So I would like to go in for Tornado to activate King Tower whenever we see a Goblin Barrel, and I think that's a reasonable maneuver for me to make. The only downside is that we take 3 shots to kill his Goblins because our tower is underleveled, so that's really unfortunate. I'm going to have to go in for a Giant Skeleton here, and then I think I also have to log, just so I don't take Spear Goblin chip damage. So here's the thing. We would like to use our log on the Goblin Barrel every single time, and now it's kind of dicey for us to make that happen. The great thing that I have the potential of using is the wizard, because it is a little bit over leveled compared to the other stuff. You know, I could tornado hypothetically if we're lucky. Oh my gosh, this is going to be beautiful. The tornado might be able to allow us to keep the wizard alive, crunching up his stuff so he doesn't even get an ability on our wizard. That's the power of NATO. A lot of people at lower skill levels don't necessarily anticipate you to do that as well. So if you go in for the tornado at the correct point, you're going to get so much value because they're not used to playing against people that do that. And if you perfect your placements, you can actually counter cards for a really nice positive elixir trade. If it's a high level win condition, like a Hog Rider coming at you level 15, you got a level 9 Tornado, maybe your towers are like level 12 or something, you can still pull the Hog Rider to the King Tower. And some of you guys might be like, Jake, you're going to freaking 3-crown yourself. And that is possible if you match it to someone and you do it many, many times. But if you do it like once or twice or even 3 times, you're going to be fine. And you then, after you activate King Tower, you like pull the Hog Rider up a little bit further, and then you're going to be fine because then it's just going to go towards the tower still, but then it won't be able to immediately go towards the tower. It's going to be delayed, so you're going to be able to damage it down. Anyway, this guy is probably going to mini P.E.K.K.A, and that's exactly what happens. I would like to tornado, but I don't think that's necessary. I think the skeletons will hold most of his stuff in place, and then all of it dies. Beautiful. So you don't even have to tornado when you want to clump up your opponent's stuff. If you have the right timing like what we did there, you really want to make sure you maximize those. Our level 13 bats are not going to be able to melt that Valkyrie very fast, but man, they heal up, so there is that benefit. Also, activating King Tower against Firecrackers is fun. I think one of the downsides of this deck, if I'm just being 100% real with you guys, which I always try to be, is it is a little bit weak against Firecracker decks just because the Firecracker is not a very fun card when you don't have arrows. You're going to have to like tornado their Firecrackers India when you have the log on defense. You'll use the tornado on offense when you can pull their stuff together. Also, I want to go and pull... Oh no, this is looking grim. All right, we're still tornado here because then maybe the Giant Skeleton Bomb is able to put it in work. I also have a preference of cycling my overleveled cards. So when I have Giant Skeleton available, you guys already know I'm going to be cycling that way more frequently. Also, I'm sure you guys did notice this, but I do want to highlight it again. When we played against the aggressive mini P.E.K.K.A, we're trying to just like make sure that it doesn't stay alive on the counter push. So we're trying to tornado that into that every time. And also another thing to keep in mind is the wall breakers were consistently dying when we activated King Tower. So that's a big clutch maneuver that a lot of people don't necessarily consider. So we're going to try to go in for this, and then we're definitely going to log the right side so we don't die to that Goblin Barrel. So at this point in the game, as long as I can get a wizard connection, I might win. And I think that's exactly what's happening. All right, I was going for the Hog Rider as well. And he's freaking out. He's like, all right, I got to kill the wizard. And I also got to kill the Hog Rider. So Valkyrie's the best move. And even if he did that, I think it would have been later. And he still lost the wizard anyway. The magic happens sometimes, and you can't avoid it. The disappearing act on our opponent's tower was devious. All right, Lelouch. So, hopefully we're going to be playing against someone not with superior skill level to us, because they do have superior levels. I would like to go for a Hog Rider first play, even if they activate King Tower Tornado. It's nice to be able to do that and get the information. Also, I would like to bait out buildings most of the time with Giant Skeletons, so then we can wander through with our Hog Rider and get value that way. We're always going to be cycling our evolutions as much as we possibly can, if we're given the ability to. So I'll cycle my wizard here, because number one, it's the highest level card I have. Number two, I have Tornado if he goes in for a win condition. That would be annoying for me to just deal with. Ooh, this is looking rough. I don't like that. Him cycling the golem there directly into my wizard is substantially more scary than I would want. Also, since we're running a lot of cheap cards that don't necessarily matter, we're able to cycle them pretty liberally to get to the cards that we need. I'm going to go for a tornado on this, and it should end up getting out of alignment, so that's good. Then we can go Ice Spirit, and then I think the Giant Skeleton might go towards the Magic Archer after. What the heck? Who does that? You're running Firecracker Golem with a Magic Archer. You got so many series of serious pain for me, bro. We're gonna have to cycle Skellies at the bridge, and that is not it. We have to bridge this damage arc where we are down a undesirable amount, to say the least. This is awful. I look at this, I'm just like, mid-ladder, man. It is what it is, you know? Sometimes you are facing the ramifications of playing against wild decks. So I want to go Hog Rider and evolve Bats just because the Wizard is going to be a better defensive card. We're definitely in the Tornado relatively early just to kill the Skellies, but unfortunately I forgot that, yeah, it doesn't really work the same. We, however, can go for an Ice Spirit and split the damage there, so not terrible. I'm going to go Hog Rider to pull the mini P.E.K.K.A. Never touch my precious hog. Let's go. That was clean. Level 14 tower is doing a lot of damage to that mini P.E.K.K.A, finishing it off. And his Firecracker with the Hog Rider, so that was one of the most desirable interactions I've had all day. Love to see that. All right, we can go Giant Skeleton here. Activating King Tower should be readily available for us against Firecracker decks, but I think it's important to do it relatively early, so then pairing that with Tornado and some other stuff, we might be able to melt this Golem quick. Remember, the guy has a Tornado counter, probably with something. There's no way that you're just going to let me Tornado and kill all your stuff, right? Ooh, wait, Evolved Archers is really, really scary, but maybe? Nah, not quite, not quite. You know what? Screw it. We're going to do this, and then we're going to go Giant Skeleton, and then we should be good. I mean, that's one Hog Rider hit. We take that all day long. The Evolved Firecracker's in the wrong side, too. So, if we can just go in for a Tornado here and break through, I might be able to make something happen with a Hog Rider on the other side. The only downside is because my tower is so low HP, I'm not really allowed to mess with this man that much. I need a Tornado and possibly win the game with that. I don't know. Does my Tornado do enough? Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. I was like, my Tornado is probably one of the most underleveled cards I have in my deck. That would be so lame if we lost it there. But hey, we walk away with the W. Super cool to be able to beat a mini P.E.K.K.A skeleton army deck, but our tornado on offense does not fulfill the bill. Log is always able to kill the skeleton army there. So I guess making slight adjustments to my gameplay, since I'm so used to playing on max ladder, I will not be using tornado on offense unless I'm pulling things directly into a giant skeleton bomb or a wizard splash damage. The damage that you get from an underleveled tornado is tickling. Can't even kill skeletons, but it be what it be. We bounce on in the next game and we learn from every game we play. PP, what's... Oh, no, I'm not going to say that name. So we're playing against a level 15 Dagger Duchess out here, and you guys know the deal. That is the most obnoxious tower to play into for most decks. But fortunately for us, we have more of a beat down element with the giant skeleton and the wizard. They're not as much bait. So having high health cards can drag down the Duchess's damage potential pretty low if you can get all the daggers out. I want to go in for a wizard here and maybe use tornado. It's going to be harder for us to kill this unless we NATO. So I'm going to do that right now. We can't necessarily kill the skeletons very reliably, but the witch should burn. And then I could activate King Tower here afterward against Mega Knight, which is the most important thing to do. So let's see how this goes. I think I can do it. I believe I can make it happen. Oh, it's going to die before it activates King. You know what? Sometimes that happens in Clash Royale. The Mega Knight just does not have enough health in certain situations. But bro is going to go in for the freaking Elixir Golem. Who told you you could do that? What are you doing, you wild child? All right, so I like dropping wizards here because after the wizard kills the Elixir Golem, it will also venture in the side that we want it to go in. We're going to go Ice Spirit, but unfortunately my Ice Spirit just dies. If you guys have a higher level Ice Spirit, that does not happen, by the way. It should take the targeting from the Fire Spirit and then also stay alive so that I can jump on another wave of Fire Spirit, or it will be able to give you counter push. It's just beautiful then. All right, so yeah, as we said before, the wizard and the giant skeleton are ways to win when our opponent is running these high-level annoying cards that just don't necessarily have enough elixir to support the Dagger Duchess. So the Dagger Duchess is still going to be a presence here on the right side, and I definitely think I'm going to lose the left. He'll probably continuously go in for furnaces. So it's in my best interest to go in for wizard in the back. Even if he spells this, it's kind of okay, because I need to make sure that I drop my wizard in the correct side, because if he drops an elixir golem, I'm just cooked. Like, I need to have the wizard splash damage on that, or the blobs just do so much damage. By the way, if you're unaware, the second form of the elixir golem blobs do all the damage. And as I said, the tower is cooked. There was no way for me to keep that thing alive. I think he's going to go furnace, so I don't want to go for bats yet. I want to see if I can kill his cards before we go for the bats. All right, wait. I think it's in my best interest to go and pull the witch into the bat so we can suck up the health. And this guy is going to be sucking up an L. Let's go. We're already back to another Hog Rider here. We're taking 2 towers, and the evolved level 13 bats are munching on this man's Mega Knight. All we have to do is shut this down, and I think we're going to make him frown. So guys, you already know the deal. I'm going to try to go for a log on the second form, and then we're going to tornado on the firecracker mostly, making sure it can't hit my stuff. I try to target it out of alignment, and it worked out so well. The bats are still alive, so even though they do die to a lot of stuff at level 13, like they're not going to, you know, somehow stay alive against a snowball or a zap, even if they're like overhealing, they're still going to die. It's awesome to play that because so many people at lower skill levels run Mega Knights or Hog Riders that are over leveled, or heck, Elite Barbarians that are spammed at the bridge. And if they don't have the right support, they're going to lose to the bats, even if your level is a lot lower. That Mega Knight got destroyed by evolved bats, and it was so fun to see. It's time to test Smart's intelligence out here. It's going to be a true battle of wits. Hopefully it's not just going to be a level advantage pummeling me, but you never know. The bro is going to be cycling Inferno Dragon, Mother Witch into bats, so this is looking really undesirable for me. But I believe that we can do it. So we're going to go in for bats here on the Mother Witch after it targets our wizard, so then we should be good with the defenses. Nice. The bats and the skellies distracting our opponent's stuff is the way that we dominate. Otherwise, we're dead. So try to log, because I don't think the wizard completely kills. Yeah, the wizard was just going to get destroyed. It's really frustrating to see firecrackers, Inferno Dragons, and mini P.E.K.K.As and cards that you just get wrecked by if they lock onto your tower, and you can't do much about it besides playing as safe as possible. We're going to cycle our Giant Skelly in the back left because that's the side he's likely to spam into us, and this is really tragic. I don't think I'm winning this. Out of all the matchups that I could have gotten, all of the cards that we are seeing here spook me. Yeah, so I'm going to try to use Ice Spirit to reset, and no matter what HP your Ice Spirit's at, no matter what it does, it's still going to be really well timed for you if you're able to... Wait, Why was the reflection not reflecting the wizard damage on itself? That was weird. That felt like a glitch a little bit. The wizard somehow stayed alive. And then it's staying alive again. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how that's working, but we're making it happen. Yeah, we're just making sure that we pull our opponent's units as high up as possible, because if you pull them lower, then there's a chance they spell, and then the unit just goes directly towards your tower. But if you pull back a little bit, if they spell, then you have a little bit more time to work with, because the unit's pulled backward. Instead of pulling it to the middle, it's closer to your tower. So always pull units high, never pull low with skeletons or ice spirit when you're defending against things. Anyway, we're going to go in for a King Tower activation here, because that is a very adventurous firecracker, if I do say so myself, sir. Also, the monk is going to be annoying. It's going to get its redemption arc on our wizard. No, bro. Wait. I think we're maybe okay, despite losing the wizard. Harry Potter did die, but it's a vanishing act for now. He'll come back alive soon. We get bats down, and the distraction mechanism that we have with these cards is awesome. Even though he's going to have Mother Witch, it's not the worst thing in the world, because Giant Skeleton is like, I'll save you, and then ventures ahead, and then everything else winds up dead. Oh, in one shot! There's no way! We have so many layers of protection out here for our wizard. We got the Hog Rider, we got the Giant Skeleton, we got the shield, we got the tornado, we got everything in the business. All right. Oh, we were able to knock back the Inferno Dragon, so that's not that bad. And then I guess the knockback saved our butt. Awesome. All right, wizard, please. Giant Skeleton, maybe. Please, there's a hope and a dream. Yes! And now he just has to sit there knowing he lost the game. That's brutal. That might be the smartest way of torturing opponents. And I'm sorry, Smart, you had to be our victim. But it felt pretty fitting. Smart was simply subjected to watching the bomb explode in his face, and he couldn't do anything but face the fact that he was destined to die. FA, what's up, my guy? FA's got P.E.K.K.A in the banner, and hopefully we're not going to get screwed up by that thing real bad. You guys knew what I was about to say. We can't have that happen here. We're going to go for Giant Skelly in the back on the same side as the wizard, and, you know, I guess wizard is bound to be erased by the bomb. It's just how it has to be here, you know. We win by the wizard or die by the wizard. Oh, okay. Wait. We can activate King Tower, so that's something that I should have been doing a lot more liberally earlier in the matches that we had, but we just hadn't had people, like, spamming at the bridge. But as you can see, the power of Tornado against a level 15 card, even though we have a level 14 tower, level 13 or 12 NATO, whatever the heck it is, Wimpy Tornado still activates King Tower against big level 15 things. It's a 3-level disadvantage or a 2-level disadvantage, and we're still making it happen, which is awesome. Anyway, we want to go for a wizard whenever we get the chance, but you can see how I'm able to maneuver around and go like Ice Spirit, Skeletons, get back to a Hog Rider, and then punish our opponent and just see what he does. Usually that's going to be a really good spot for us to play. I think going Bats and Skellies and Log should be enough. I'm going to drop our Skeletons really high up because I don't trust the fact that the Bats might get zapped or spelled a little bit later. So you don't want to drop your Bats and Skeletons right next to each other. That is a really novice mistake that people will make when they're playing this deck, is you stack up too many small distractions in a row, and then they just like candlestick bowl all of your stuff down and you're screwed. Like, yo, all right, you just want him to hit a perfect 300 on you or something. Anyway, we have to wait for the wizard to lock onto the Giant Skeletons. We're going to go for a lower Ice Spirit. Also, make sure that you drop your damage dealing stuff first, and then you use your distractions and your knockbacks and your delayments. Because if you're able to use the Ice Spirit and it does the exact amount of duration of the stun at any point, you want to drop your units first because they can stack up more damage, and then, you know, earlier you're going to drop them, the more damage you get. I think that I'm probably going to be good here going Giant Skeleton on the bridge. Oh, we're chilling. And we have Skellies here, even though they are underleveled compared to the Bandit. I think the Bandit walks towards my tower instead of dashing, giving us enough time to kill it with a King Tower activation. So I'm going to try to take 2 towers here because there's a high likelihood that he takes at least one of mine. I really don't want to lose this game against a Lumberjack Balloon player. He's got P.E.K.K.A evolution right now. That's kind of bad. Kind of bad for me. I might tornado it back. Yo! Wizard splash damage is insane! It basically decimated his entire Electro Wizard. All right, we're back to another wizard here. Maybe we can just go Ice Spirit. We're going to probably tornado, so let's go for like Skeletons up top. We tornado everything back. He's going to rage, so we kind of want to delay our Bats there, and it worked out so freaking well. We're going to log just to guarantee that we take the tower on the right side without any time for downtime. We want to take him out as early as possible and not like, make the man suffer too much. Decimating higher level players with underleveled cards probably makes him feel bad enough already. Because as long as you have 3 cards moderately high level, the Wizard, Giant Skeleton, and Hog Rider, you'll be able to beat almost any deck in the game. All the way up to the top of Trophy Road at 9,000 trophies in Legendary Arena, or to Path of Legends Ultimate Champion. Of course, if you don't have evolved bats, it's not that big of a deal. Just use evolved Wizard, and you can use any other evolution in the deck with evolved Skeletons, evolved Ice Spirit instead of the evolved bats, or throw in an evolved Cannon or Tesla if you want a more defensive version instead of the bats. Stick to this deck, leveling up the most important cards, and then you're destined to dominate. Hammer the like button and check out the pinned comment for the full playlist of me beating every single arena with this Hog Rider deck. From start to finish, I upgraded the deck, I beat the arenas, and I showed you guys how I did it. The raw footage is there if you want to see it. Subscribe for more daily content. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.